Hey everyone, and welcome to From Pain Point to On Point. I'm your host, Britt, and today we've got a really interesting topic for you, one that can completely change how you think about your sales team, and also one that we've previously touched upon in our inaugural episode. Today we're going to talk about Richard Bartle's player types, originally developed for gamers, but we're going to apply these to sales. Now, if you're leading a sales team or you're trying to figure out how to motivate yourself or others, you do not want to miss this. We're not just talking theory here. We're going to go deep into practical ways you can use these insights to engage your team, boost performance, and create an environment where everyone's driving towards success. So let's dive in. First, we're going to take it back to the very beginning. Richard Bartle is a British researcher who developed his player type theory in the mid 90s. He was studying how people behaved in multiplayer online games. So, those massive games where thousands of people play together and each has their own style of interacting. You can think of World of Warcraft as an example of this. Now, Bartle noticed that people had distinct motivations for why they played. Some loved the thrill of the competition, some were all about mastering the game's challenges, others enjoyed exploring the virtual world, and some just wanted to chat and connect with other players. So, from this, he identified four core types: achievers, explorers, socializers, and killers. Before you think killer sounds a bit intense, it's just that competitive drive, and we're going to get into that later. Bartle's goal was to help game designers understand these motivations so that they could create games that kept the players engaged. So here's the twist on this: these motivations aren't just for gamers, they're human behaviors that translate really beautifully into real world environments, like, you guessed it, sales teams. So let's talk about what the Bartle players actually are, their characteristics, and more importantly, how you can tap into these to see success on your sales team. So, like I mentioned, the four core players: achievers, these are the people who love hitting milestones, collecting rewards, and mastering tasks. Explorers, those are really curious folks. They love to learn and discover new ways to approach things. Socializers, which is what I am. Those are energized by interacting with others and building relationships. So these are your yappers. And then killers, these are the people that have a really competitive spirit. They thrive on winning, whether it's against others or through self mastery. What Bartle found is that understanding what motivates each type can really help you create an environment that keeps everyone engaged. In the gaming world, it's about designing a game that appeals to these different motivations, but in sales, it's about creating a system or a culture that taps into the exact same thing. And here's where things can get maybe a little off the rails for sales teams. Sales leaders tend to use a one size fits all approach to motivation. Typically, what happens in a sales organization is that killers are often promoted because they're the ones that are always at the top of the leaderboard. They're always pushing themselves for more. And in corporate structures, this really bodes well for promotions. But we know that killers make up just a small percentage of a team. So the motivation tactics that inspire a killer, they don't really work for everyone else. If you've ever seen a company throw out a massive bonus structure and wonder why only half of the team responds, or maybe your sales kickoff had some hyped up competition, but only a few people got really excited about it while others just zoned out, that's the mistake. Not recognizing that people are motivated by different things. Just like in Bartle's games, not everyone plays for the same reason. Some want to win, some want to explore, some want to learn, and some just want to connect. If you only focus on one kind of motivation, you really miss out on engaging the rest of your team. So, if we're talking myths for sales teams here, myth number one is that if it's not competitive, it's not going to drive sales. This is huge. We've all been conditioned to think that sales is just a ruthless competition, right? But the truth is that not every salesperson is a killer. Some of the best sales reps are explorers who love finding creative solutions, or socializers who really excel at building relationships. The second biggest myth is that money is the ultimate motivator. Of course, financial incentives are important, but they're not everything. Your achievers will be excited, but what about your explorers who want to keep learning? Or your socializers who find their motivation in team activities and networking? I know that for myself personally, I'm not really motivated by money. I'm really motivated by working together with my team and trying to achieve new goals. So while money is nice, it's not the end all be all. And recognizing these different myths within your own team really help you build a holistic engagement strategy for everyone. So Let's try to break this down with some examples, starting with achievers. You know, these folks, they're the ones that are always chasing the next milestone, looking for the next bonus, and asking, what's the target this month? Achievers thrive on clear goals and rewards. In sales, that might mean setting KPIs, having personal milestones, things like hitting their quarterly quota or achieving the highest close rate. Public recognition is also really huge for these people, so you want to make sure that you're giving them the shout out in front of the whole team when they do hit these goals. For explorers, this is a little bit different. Explorers in a sales team are kind of hard to nail down. They're definitely the most elusive type. But these are the sales reps who are constantly on the hunt for new techniques. They're looking to experiment with different sales pitches or dive into customer insights. They're really motivated by knowledge and growth. For them, offering opportunities to learn and innovate is really key. Maybe you encourage them to experiment with new sales approaches, provide access to advanced training, or allow them to explore new verticals within your market. This is a huge one. You can even gamify the learning process by giving them points for attending webinars or bringing new ideas to team meetings. Socializers, these are the glue that holds your team together. I can attest. Socializers are the glue that holds teams together. These are, for lack of a better term, your culture hires. They're really relationship driven, not just with clients, but also within your team. They're the ones who really like working together. They thrive on collaboration. They get energized by helping others succeed. For them, creating a sense of community is really key. You might want to set up team based competitions or encourage cross selling opportunities where collaboration is rewarded. They'll also appreciate having social events or a chance to mentor junior team members, building those relationships out further. And then lastly, we've got killers, and these are the ones that everybody knows, everybody loves. All of the movies are based off of them. They are not aggressive necessarily, at least not in a negative way. Killers love competition. These are hard driving, competitive sales reps who want to be number one on the leaderboard. They're motivated by winning, whether it's against others or against their own best performance, beating their goals from last quarter. They love leaderboards. They love winner takes all challenges. And recognition for being the best of the best is really the thing that keeps them motivated and engaged. But it's really important to maintain a healthy competitive environment so that their energy is channeled in a way that lifts up the whole team rather than creating tension. This is kind of where we can see a lot of conflict on sales teams, where we're seeing sales managers that really give a lot of kudos and recognition to killers, the top performers, top of the leaderboard over and over and over again. And the rest of the team, which is the majority of the team, ends up getting left out or not recognized, which really can be so huge, huge killer for morale. So now that we've mapped these player types into your sales team, let's talk about how we can apply this in the real world. How can you, as a sales leader, use these insights to build a more motivated, engaged, and ultimately high performing team? So let's start with achievers. A lot of companies already have a focus on quotas and incentives, but here's how you can take it a step further. Create a tiered system where achievers can see their progress at every level: weekly, monthly, quarterly. The more granular the goal setting, the more they'll feel that sense of accomplishment along the way. For example, instead of just rewarding for meeting a quarterly sales target, break it down into weekly or even daily goals with recognition. Little rewards like digital badges, like we have in SalesScreen, certificates, or even small bonuses can be extremely motivating for these folks. And always give them recognition. You should give recognition to everybody on your team, but achievers, they really, really thrive on getting the recognition and they love to see their name in lights. For explorers, you want to offer continuous learning opportunities. Think of it like this: explorers are motivated by novelty and depth. So give them something new to dig into. Maybe it's a new product that they can become an expert on, or a new market segment to explore. You can also set up discovery challenges where reps are encouraged to uncover new insights about your clients or your market and share that information with the team. You could gamify this process, awarding points or badges for discovering new sales techniques or breaking into new customer segments. Socializers, like we said, they're all about connection. If you're running remote or hybrid teams, you need to create intentional moments for socializers to bond. You could design team based competitions where success is about collaboration. Maybe pair people up to tackle challenges together or create a buddy system for new hires where socializers can guide them through their first few months. This is huge. Socializers love to be needed. Even setting up regular team video calls for casual conversations can keep these folks engaged and motivated. And as for killers, you really want to lean into that competitive nature. So create monthly competitions where top performers get real time recognition. These reps love the leaderboard, so having a visible, constantly updated leaderboard can push them to outperform. You could also challenge them to break their own records, like beating their best sales day or most calls in an hour. And don't forget that killers love to win, so don't hesitate in creating high stake competitions with really big rewards. So I know this is a lot, and if you don't have a tool like SalesScreen that can kind of do all of this for you in an automated way, this might be really overwhelming. But I wanted to give you guys some creative ideas that you can bring to your team right now that's going to get all of your players engaged and excited. So, one idea is a quarterly explorer challenge. So, each quarter, assign your explorers a market research task. Let's say they need to identify untapped customer needs or potential expansion markets. Then have them present their findings to the team. This not only scratches their itch to learn, but it also adds real value to your sales strategy. You would also do a sales hackathon for socializers. This is where socializers can team up and brainstorm new ways to approach clients or boost performance. Maybe they come up with innovative scripts or new email templates. At the end of the hackathon, the whole team can vote on the best idea and everybody walks away with something useful. You could also have achievement boards for your achievers. Create a physical or digital achievement board where they can see their personal wins. Maybe it's deals closed or new clients onboarding, anything that you can measure the success of. Seeing their progress visually is incredibly satisfying for this group of people. And then lastly, for your killers, you should really be doing head to head competitions. You can set up head to head competitions. That's a sales off where two killers go head to head for a week. You could have them compete on most calls, most leads generated, or most deals closed. It's a really fun way to push them to go even further. So let's zoom out a little bit. This has been a lot of information for you guys, but hopefully some good takeaways. The beauty of Bartle's theory is that it gives you a framework to think about motivation in a really nuanced way. We all know that one motivational tactic isn't going to work for everyone. But now, hopefully, you're able to tailor strategies to different personalities on your team. But the real key is not just about labeling people and putting them into a box. Many of your sales reps are going to have overlapping traits. Maybe they're part achiever or part socializer, and that's great. The goal is to understand the primary drivers behind each individual so you, as a sales manager, can meet them where they are. As a manager, this means that you've got to be paying attention. And if you notice a rep consistently going above and beyond to hit targets, then you know that that's probably an achiever. If someone's always excited about trying a new tool or a new technique, that's giving explorer vibes. Building relationships, you know you have a socializer. And a person who lights up anytime there's a competition, well, you got a killer on your hands. So there you have it. Richard Bartle's player types reimagined for your sales team. Whether your team is full of achievers, explorers, socializers, or killers, the key is to understand what makes each person tick and how you can create an environment that motivates them in the best possible way. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can hit us up on social or you can drop a comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe from Pain Point to On Point so you don't miss out on future episodes where we break down even more sales strategies, insights, and tactics. Until next time.